My name is Flora Ghazaryan. I am originally from Armenia, but I have been on the long journey of CEU from Budapest to Vienna. I practically am here for the last 8 years, so I did my master's degree in medieval studies and now I'm doing PhD in comparative history. The application process was a little bit chaotic and complicated for me back then. I was 21 years old, really confused, really not sure and confident about my English. I failed the first TOEFL exam when I was applying here, so it was a lot of stress for me to do, and I was applying only to one university, which was recommended to me by my supervisor in Armenia. He had been invited guest lecturer here, and he recommended me to come to study, basically to broaden my understanding of the world and the history outside of this national box that the national universities are putting you in. So it was a lot of pressure on me because first I wanted to prove that I can do this, and I wanted to satisfy the trust of my supervisor, who was telling me that I have to do this and I can do this. But on the other side, I had this society and even some members of the family who were not trusting. They were like, you're not smart enough to get to Europe, right, and study for free. Now there are a lot of Armenian students who are going outside of Armenia, but when I was applying, you could count on your fingers, and mostly these were people like the kids of rich people who could afford to pay for their education, so they didn't have that much of a stress to get accepted somewhere. This was the interesting thing because we are coming from the countries which have conflicts with others, right? So it's not only the nice feeling and the open world, like everything with butterflies. There are a lot of also gray zones when you don't know how to interact with people who potentially were put into your head as an enemy when you were growing up in one society. So I think the most interesting and the best part of studying outside for me was to actually meet these enemies and to be friends with them. So the first interaction was this 1 minute of genuine mistrust when you don't know what to talk, how to talk about certain things, where are the red lines in this conversation. And then you are understanding that 1, 2, 3 hours later, these dehumanized characters are becoming your friends and you cannot imagine yourself without these people. It was really hard in the beginning. Let's say the first 2-3 years were hard, but the most interesting one because they were so chaotic. And then you are realizing and you are seeing the more rewards, level ups that are coming onto your way, the more you are going in. So from that student who needed help to come somewhere, you are actually turning into a person who is talking to others and who is teaching others to continue and to do the path that you have done at some point. Well, what I would suggest to them is to dare, because living a safe life in the borders and zones of something that you know but you are feeling unfulfilled is not living at all. And I was always looking, and when the opportunity was given to me, it was scary, but I jumped on that train because I was like, if I will not decide how my life is going to be, then it's gonna be all the people around me continuously dictating what to do. So my first advice to people who are watching this or who are thinking to apply or not to apply is there. If you will never step onto this opportunity, you will know what you are missing in the life, because there are so many things outside of what we see from our narrow window, which is called our country or our university or even our supervisor. We can't follow only one person and one stream of thought. We have to know everything around us. That's the real democracy. That's real, open world. That's getting to know other people around you and understanding the world.